I'd like to call to order this committee the whole meeting of the town of Saugeen Shores, and I extend a welcome to everyone in the chambers this evening. The first order of business is a declaration of pecuniary interest, and I'll remind every member of your responsibility to do so, and you can do it now or when it arises. Nothing. This evening we have no deputations, so the next item on the agenda is the reports of municipal officers, and we have an environmental services and transportation staff report about an expression for interest, in our Director of Public Works, Stuart Doyle, will present.
Thank you. I'll apologize in advance for the length of the report, but I'll try to get through it fairly quickly here. Recently, the province and the federal governments announced 3 separate funding opportunities. 2 of the funding models required municipalities submit an expression of interest by September 18th of this year, detailing the projects that are being considered and the associated costs. Of note, only 1 project per fund can be submitted for consideration. So the first fund is the Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund. This fund is a provincial application-based fund that includes $50 million with a maximum entitlement of $2 million per project. Projects eligible include roads, bridges, water, wastewater, and must be completed by the end of 2016. In 2013, the town submitted 2 unsuccessful applications for similar funds for Market Street. Now that Market Street has been completed using other funding sources, staff is recommending to move upstream and apply for the same funding for the same system on Bruce Street. The following conditions are what rank this project as a priority. I won't go through them all, but we look at roads, storm sewers, sidewalks, development, and the what's happened to development and the asset management side of that. The proposed project would include road reconstruction to collector standards based on the available right-of-way, storm sewer, addition of sidewalks, and increased opportunity for active transportation with the wider road widths. The second fund is the Small Communities Fund, which is a federal, provincial, and municipal partnership fund that includes $275 million total, and individual projects are not restricted to specific values. The program is again application-based for small municipalities with a population of less than 100,000. In the past 15 years, the town of Saugeen Shores has made a priority of servicing peripheral areas with sanitary sewer collection systems. They have been completed for environmental purposes, growth, future maintenance costs, and other considerations for each project. Since 2001, the town's completed Izard Avenue, Shipley Avenue, Southampton South End Sanitary, and more recently the North of the River servicing. Staff are proposing that expression of interest be submitted for the Small Communities Fund for sanitary sewer expansion, storm sewer installation, water main looping, and road reconstruction upgrades for the Gobles Grove and Saugeen Beach Road area all the way out to Concession 4. This project has been discussed in the past in conjunction with the official plan and the water and sewer master servicing plans. But similar to the North of the River project, it was understood that without significant funding, external funding, this project would not likely be possible. The following is a list of selection criteria reviewed for this project. The official plan, in that section we look at private septic systems inside the settlement area and the criteria that's needed. And we note that based on the high water tables, the small lots, side yard setbacks, proximity to several different water courses in the area, and legal property boundaries, many of the lots in the area would struggle to meet the current requirements. The SCF program was anticipated to assist municipalities with their infrastructure deficit by placing funds in selective areas to foster economic growth, clean environment, and stronger communities. This project fulfills the following selection criteria, and again, this is directly from the program manual. Increase the number of household, industry, commercial establishments on wastewater connected to sanitary wastewater systems, improving quality of treated stormwater effluent, improving the reliability and performance of the wastewater collection and treatment, improving the efficiency and service reliability of water treatment facilities and our distribution systems. So again, the following are conditions that rank this project high for this funding opportunity. The roads, the PCI ratings for many of the roads in the Gobles Grove area do warrant full reconstructions. We're looking at improving approximately 10.6 kilometers of road sections in this project. Storm sewers, many parts of the Gobles Grove area is susceptible to periodic flooding. In 2004, the town retained the services of a consultant firm to design conceptual drainage improvements for the area. The addition of selective storm sewer systems would provide protection against seasonal uncontrolled flooding without impacting the wetlands of various minor waterways that are vital to the ecosystem. Pedestrian amenities. Currently, there are very few outside the beach areas. Look at asset management. This investment in upgrades in roads will directly address the need of the assets in this area. The upgrade will provide longer life expectancies than the existing infrastructure. As the previous BCF fund has illustrated, a one-time cash infusion in one area has proven to be a positive investment due to the fact that completing the project in one phase when financing permits has shown to be more cost-effective than constructing in individual segments. Although this project may appear to be counterproductive to reducing the municipality's infrastructure deficit with respect to sanitary collection system, the long-term view of spending on the subsidized project will redirect scarce tax levy funds to other key areas in the future years. In the previous BCF, construction costs of approximately $19 million were required, and only around 10% was funded by the tax levy. By the municipality's previous investments in water and sewer-related infrastructure, and implementing a long-term plan, the water and sewer budgets are self-sustaining. Without a significant funding program, this project is not financially feasible for the municipality or the local residents. It's important to note that this upgrade expansion will relieve future capital budgets of many road and related projects that will be required at full cost to the municipality, not to mention the future risk of not installing sewers while the funding opportunity exists. Due to the prescribed timelines, this application is due on September 18th of this year and will not allow for further council deliberations at the expression of interest stage. No resolution is required for this stage of the application. If the project passes this stage, a resolution will be required in December to move forward with the applications. By submitting the expression of interest, council is in no way bound or committed to any projects or funding in the future. As discussed above, the town is aware of the positive outcomes of the large one-time investments in cooperation with funding programs. Large areas can be revitalized in short periods of time, reducing the burden on the future tax levy and allowing other core capital priorities to proceed. At this point, preliminary cost estimates have been completed for both projects. For Bruce Street, we're estimating around $1 million, and the town's portion would be 10%. And for Gobles Grove and Saugeen Beach Road, we're estimating around $15 million, and the town's portion would be 33%. And both of those would be covered by varying funding or funding sources.
Thank you, Stuart. The recommendation is that Council authorizes staff to submit an expression of interest for the following. 1. Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund, Bruce Street Road Reconstruction, and 2. Small Communities Fund, Gobles Grove and Saugeen Beach Road Reconstruction. Comments, questions? Councillor Hubert.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Stuart, can you just clarify? There was a comment in what you said that led me to think that maybe there would be some other investment required with the sanitary sewer system away from this area if this went through. Did I hear you incorrectly?
You must have.
Okay, so the system can handle.
Yes.
Okay, and
Sorry.
just as the third thing, you mentioned that there were 3 funding programs. There's only 2 here. What's the third one?
Sorry, on I think last council meeting's agenda there was an information report or maybe a communication that explained that there's the provincial fund is a $100 million fund. 50 of it is a application based and 50 of that is a funding based. So based on a funding model, then we'll receive that money that way.
Vice Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's all right. I got a demotion there. Stu, first off, I just want to say thank you to you for a lot of work that you did here in a very short period of time. Stu didn't make clear in the report, and he should have, that the municipality was only made aware of these funding opportunities at the AMO conference at the earliest, the 17th of August, giving the town about 33 days to prepare funding applications for 2 major infrastructure projects. Stu accomplished that in just a little over 20 days, which is extremely impressive. And he should be commended by council for that effort. I have a couple of questions, though, on these. One, with regard to the Bruce Street project, Stu, that was a project identified in the 5-year capital forecast. And at least in the draft, I couldn't find the final version, but I assume the draft was the same as the final because I don't remember changing it. It was identified as Bruce Faulkner to Johnson, and there was a $1.25 million price tag put on that, with $225,000 coming from development charges. I just wanted to clarify your costing on. You've got $1 million for this project. Is there a discrepancy there? Are you counting on the DCs, which is what's bringing you down to $1 million? Could you just clarify that for me?
Yeah, we're counting on the DCs, and we've also reviewed again the costing and gone through a costing model we've developed to try to help us streamline this process. So that's kind of where the value came from.
But it's effectively the same project as what was in the long-term five-year capital forecast.
Correct.
So that's great. I mean, and if we are successful at that, that's one we can scratch off the list. With regard to the Gobles Grove project, this is one that that I have struggled with a bit over the last couple of weeks, and the reason, thinking about it a lot, the reason I have been struggling with it centrally is because it's one that does not appear in any of our long-term capital forecasting, and there are good reasons for that, and that staff didn't believe it was a project that we could accomplish in the next 5 years due to funding, and the opportunity became available to find some funding for that, and you've proceeded with. And I really think, and I just wanted to make the comment that the problem here again is, and too fine a point can't be put on it, is the province. I mean, they give you 33 days to complete this project. They give you specific criteria. Council spends all this time creating long-term capital forecasts with your assistance, with your advice. Over the years, we create these capital forecasts, and then the province comes in with the funding that we know they're going to do over time, and they blow it completely out of the water with short time frames and specific criteria. And it leaves council in a position of being unable to effectively direct this process. I mean, staff has done its very best and has brought us forward a worthy project, which I am going to support. But it's very difficult for council to create plans and see those plans executed effectively under this funding structure. It's just, it leaves us completely, well, not completely, but very largely out of the loop in terms of planning for this municipality. And I find that extremely frustrating and unfortunate. So I wanted to say that, but this is a great project, and my understanding is it's going to provide servicing to as many as 370 properties in the township of Saugeen, and that's important, and it's going to be a good thing for the environment down there and for all those property owners. So it's going to get my support. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Frost.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll echo what was just said there about the work you put into this in a short time. It is greatly appreciated. I just want to, I'm definitely going to support this, and I just want to emphasize the fact, and especially for the residents there, that they will know that the future council will have the opportunity to go over this. Residents will have the opportunity, and it's only showing our interest to get funding for it. So it's and as much as the feds in the province do tick me off on their timing, at least it's not like other projects where we've had a very short window to have the engineering and everything ready to go. This one here, they're giving us some years to do it, so I do appreciate that part of it, and thank you again, Stu. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any further comments or questions? If not, then all in favor of the recommendation. That's good. The next item on the agenda again is an Environmental Services and Transportation Staff report, and it has to do with Macbeth Lane servicing. And again, our Director of Public Works, Stuart Doyle, will present.
Thank you. Macbeth Lane is a private lane located off McVicker Street near the former Port Elgin South Saugeen Township boundary. The lane is owned and maintained by individual lot owners located adjacent to the lane. In 1991, the former township proposed to install waterworks and improve the water system on McVicker Street. As part of the project, the property owners of Macbeth Lane at that time decided they did not want the water system within the Macbeth Lane replaced. The township did assess the cost to the 5 owners of around $3,500, which was collected for increasing the quality and the pressure on their system. In 2001, the Saugeen Shores proposed to install sanitary sewers on McVicker Street, and Lustig Lane, another private lane. At that time, the project, not all the property owners of McBeck Lane decided they wanted the sanitary sewer system, therefore the sewers were not installed. In 2001, a resident of McBeck Lane put his own service in. In 2013, the new owner of 8 McBeck Lane, in conjunction with a building improvement project, inquired about the feasibility and cost of reconnecting to the municipal sewer system. As part of the process, the owners of 8 McBeck Lane canvassed their neighbors about a small neighborhood project to service all properties on McBeck Lane with sanitary services and replace the old water line. The project would be completed similar to the servicing of McVicker Street and nearby Lustig Lane as part of the 2001 McVicker Street servicing. The cost assessed to the benefiting property owners at that time was $8,500 per connection. The McBeck Lane properties would be assessed the same capital cost plus indexing to 2014 for the sanitary sewer connection. McBeck Lane servicing project will provide sanitary services for 4 of the 5 properties on McBeck Lane. The 5th property is already on the system. Those benefiting from the new water system will pay equal amounts for the cost. The affected owners have signed and returned to the town the easements agreements prepared by the town solicitor. The 5 benefiting property owners have agreed to the project and the associated capital cost. Staff are recommending that the town approve proceeding with the project and no financial impact to the municipality as the installation, supervision, and legal costs are the responsibility of the owners.
Thanks, Stuart. Then the recommendation is that the town approve proceeding with the project at the expense of the landowners and further authorizing the mayor and clerk to sign the easement agreements. Any questions or comments? All in favor then? That's carried. The next item on the agenda is Community Services Parks and Recreation Report. And it's a staff report about a lease agreement renewal for Shipley and Izzard Trail, and our Director of Community Services, Jane, will present.
Thank you. 8 years ago, the Department of Community Services reached an agreement for the trail usage for all landowners along the Shipley-Izzard Trail linkage running between McKinnon Lane and Mitchell Lane. The current agreement expires this month. As we enter into a new agreement with the present-day owners, the following additions and changes are requested. Although staff attempted to negotiate a longer agreement, the residents preferred another 3-year agreement. Obliged to extend the existing fence at the top of the ridge on properties owned by Izzard Lane residents from 484 to 496, no later than 9 months following the first building permit being issued in the adjacent proposed planning subdivision remains in this agreement. The Shipley-Izzard Trail linkage is a well-used trail by not only our residents but also our visitors and is a wonderful complement to our existing trails. Staff would like to extend a sincere appreciation to the landowners who are willingly agreed to allow this trail to be part of our trail system.
Thank you, Jane. And the recommendation is that Council passes a bylaw to authorize the landowner land use agreement between the town of Saugeen Shores and owners of lands known as the Shipley-Izzard Trail linkage for the use of their lands for trail purposes, which includes liability insurance coverage, naming the landowners additional insured. Excuse me. Any questions or comments to this recommendation? All in favor then? That's carried. We have a short agenda tonight. There's a couple items for committee of the whole information, some committee minutes, and we have another report from a department and an information report about leave to appeal an OMB decision, and perhaps our CIO would like to comment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we noted at our previous council meeting, the town was successful in the recent decision issued by the board with respect to our development charges. The decision did not sit well with the landowner, and the notation here simply is that he's seeking leave to appeal that. So the town is required to attend to, when the motion material is filed, we are required to attend divisional court and defend the decision, and hopefully it will end there at that point. But the saga continues, essentially.
Any comments to that or questions? Not very likely. Well, we're at the end of our agenda, so I guess we'll start for good of council. And typically, just to remind council, I think in the last couple of elections, we have suspended good of council after the nominations close for the campaign period, so this will be your last kick at the cat tonight. So just because we're going early doesn't mean you have to go on for half an hour.
Well, I never really do, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. I just, I just want to mention the fact that I'm quite impressed with the amount of interest in municipal elections seems to be at least up in this area. It makes the news constantly. There's a number of people for all different positions vying for those things, and I'm quite impressed with that. So I'm just going to wait till the 12th shows up, and off we go. And that's about it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Huber.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to take an opportunity to say that the Bruce County Library is going through a strategic plan right now, and there hasn't been a whole lot of information, I guess, put out there about the transitioning of the library. Anyway, on September the 22nd, which is a Monday, at 10 a.m. in the morning, the consultant's coming back to Southampton. I'm not too sure yet where we're going to do something, but they haven't really had much opportunity to engage people in our community yet. So if you have any interest in the library, certainly there'll be a chance soon to talk about the future of the Bruce County Library in Southampton and Port Elgin as well. The Chambettes were supposed to do a Chantry Island fundraiser on the weekend, but the weather kind of curtailed it. But it could be more fun this weekend because the plan is to take the dock out at the island on Saturday, and the Chambettes are planning to go to the island on Saturday night. So more than in the past, maybe it really will be a survival night. And I just wanted to also say that downtown Southampton and downtown Port Elgin are looking great. So who's ever keeping the flowers out there a little bit longer, I don't know who's still watering them, but it really makes a difference in both communities. Thanks.
Councillor Shildroth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Only have one thing, and that is a reminder that the 17th annual food drive for Bruce Area Solid Waste is starting next Monday. The pickups are with your blue box collections. Basically, if you've got anything you'd like to donate, you put your food items in an untied plastic bag beside your blue box. So the normal pickup dates for Port Elgin are September the 17th, Saugeen Township September the 22nd, and Southampton is September the 26th. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Red. Councillor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple of weeks back, forget the date, old age, at Southampton Town Hall, there was the meeting about the streetscape. Very interesting. I'm not sure the number of people there. Larry was there. Councillor Frost was there. A lot of good ideas coming out. Waiting for the end result and decision making. I think it's going to be fantastic. This obviously is my first term, and I didn't realize how much there was to learn and how much there was to say, which I don't say too much anyways. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Gary. Councillor Seaman.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a reminder of the Volunteer Appreciation Night Wednesday. I hope the weather holds. It's a great event to say thank you to all our volunteers, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Sherville.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Two great events, back-to-back public meetings on the 27th and 28th, the Streetscape meeting in Southampton and the Port Elgin waterfront meeting. And I can tell you the consultants are continuing to work. We just had a communication from them today on the Southampton Streetscape business, and I think that fairly shortly we're going to see some interesting work from them, and I'm looking forward to that. And the waterfront meeting, and the number one thing that we heard, I think, at the waterfront meeting was the public's desire to see us have fewer meetings and take more action. And I think that will be the challenge that we'll be hearing most for the next council over the coming weeks and coming years. So yeah, and also just wanted to say congratulations to the Ziegler family of Port Elgin, who have welcomed to their ranks the Premier of Alberta this week. And I can say if you ever need anything done in Alberta now, you can just pop into Ziegler Lumber, and I'm sure they can help you out. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Luke. Just one thing. I was at an event on this. I think some of us did participate in that ALS Bucket Challenge, but the community came together there on the 30th out at the Lakeshore Racquet Club, and it is another example of how this community comes together and raises money for a great cause. It was a great turnout, and a whole bunch of people got wet, and they raised, I don't know how much money, but at the time I think it was around $8,000 to $10,000, and one of the directors from the society, with a fundraiser went into the society from London, had come up and was very impressed about how Saugeen Shores had come together to support that. And so congratulations to everybody that organized that. And with that, a motion to adjourn. Tom and Gary, all in favor? That's carried. Would you